Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dave back here with you again. I want to let you all know that my book has gone to the publisher. It's going to contain a lot of things that aren't here on YouTube. I'm probably going to write a couple of more books after this one to fill in the blanks because I have tons of information I still haven't told you all here, and I can't get it into one book. It would be just too big. That book will probably be on the market in April of 2017, so look for that. And enjoy this video. I've remembered a few more things about Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers and this Zodiac killer thing. I was some different things on the internet yesterday, and I saw about Bob Crane. Now, for those of you who don't know, he starred in a sequel that came on every day when I was in high school called Heroes. Now, he was known to have been a sex addict, and he had lots of girlfriends. And this ad that I read mentioned that he had been murdered. I didn't know that until yesterday. But when I saw that, I remember Frank Morris in Mexico City telling me that something needed to be done about this guy, and somebody needed him to pay for having all those girlfriends. I remember telling Frank that I thought it was interesting that he could have so many girlfriends and so many women would like him, and Frank just went into super anger mode and said that somebody's got to make him pay for that. You know, I don't know, it seems strange that years after that Bob Crane gets murdered. Now, Frank also mentioned JonBenet Ramsey. He said that someone needed to make her pay for makeup and dressing up like a grown woman because that wasn't right. He also said that her parents needed to pay for it. You know, it's kind of interesting that she ends up getting murdered. And both of these cases, no one figures out who the murderer was, just like all the rest of Frank's. Now, that to me is that they have some DNA evidence on suspects on these cases. All they got to do is get some DNA evidence from something that they can get from Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers. They can match them up and prove that these were Zodiac killings. There was another one that I haven't told you about before because I couldn't remember the details, but there was a murder called the Little Miss Panasofkee murder. There was a girl that was supposedly abducted from a Greek festival in Springs, Florida. They have this annual festival where the guys get to dive for a cross that the priest throws in the water, and the girl supposedly was abducted from there. Now, Frank told me about this, and he said that that girl was a friend of the Anglin brothers. They describe her as being possibly Greek or Hispanic, and I'm thinking she was a Hispanic farm worker that probably lived around and worked around where the Anglin brothers had lived and worked, because they were farm workers for a while when they were young. Now, they took this girl, and after they killed her, they threw her body off of the bridge, the I-75 bridge, into Lake Panasofkee. And Frank told me that he had picked up a girl who was a friend of the Anglin brothers. I'm thinking the way he told it, they picked her up in Ruskin, where the Anglin brothers are from, and they took her to the festival. And then afterwards they killed her. Now, I'm not sure. They may have just met her there at the festival, but they already knew her the way Frank told it to me. Now, Frank said they threw her off the bridge, and I went crazy. I'm like, you threw a girl off of a bridge? What was that about? And he goes, well, she landed in the weeds down there. It didn't hurt her. Believe me, she didn't feel anything. beat around the bush about it and said a few things and made me wonder, you know, why they threw this girl over the bridge and everything. But I think in there somewhere he came back and told me that something that I didn't understand at the time, but now remembering back, yeah, he was trying to tell me that they killed her and threw her over the bridge. There's 3 more murders. I found another murder that I'm sure these guys did, but I've forgotten where it was at. 3 men were spotted near a ranch house, and then they killed a couple of people there, kids, I think. I don't know. I'll find that again and I'll tell you about it. These guys have murders, unsolved murders, all over the country and all over Mexico. It's just incredible to me that someone could get by with all of that. But they did it. That if you watch all of my videos one by one, you'll be able to piece this whole puzzle together to what happened with Frank Morse and the Anglin brothers after they escaped from Alcatraz, D.B. Cooper thing was about, and what the whole Zodiac killer thing was about, as it was told to me by Frank Morse. Much for watching, and